Her ability to be at the forefront of and capitalize on digital trends stems from her deep understanding of both illustrative, narrative, story. This combination helps her formulate high converting content and communicate key messages through memorable online experiences. In addition to receiving her master's degree from Thunderbird School of Global Management, Jenny also holds multiple bachelor's degree from Arizona State University, certificates of digital marketing from Cornell University, and coaching experience from Adler Learning USA. She currently serves as an adjunct faculty for both the business and graphic design departments of Scottsdale Community College, where my son is, and is an associate professor at the prestigious ASU Lodestar Center for Philanthropy and Nonprofit Innovation. Please help me in welcoming Jenny.
Number 3.
I got it.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Doesn't my bio sound fancy? I always hear that and I'm like, who is this person? Like, she sounds awesome. Sign me up. Our panel was amazing. I know Anna, I think, stayed. I'm not quite sure where she's at. There she is, right back up over there. So we appreciate all their information, but I don't know about you, but some of the stuff that they were talking about, like campaigns and reach and all these different things, it's kind of like, wait, what exactly are we defining here? What exactly are we talking about? So today we're going to go over learning a little bit about the different, kind of the 5 main social media channels, how we can apply them to what it is that you're interested in, and also how you can ask the right questions if you are hiring somebody and just understanding the landscape and where you fit. Because one of the things that I've found in working with small and large businesses is the biggest question is not, how do I do this? Because you can YouTube it, right? It's sitting down in front of that cursor and that blank screen and going, what am I going to say? And it's that blank screen syndrome that makes things really, really difficult for a lot of people and a lot of businesses. Okay? So we're going to talk about that. We call the peanut butter approach is whenever you are on every single platform and you do none of them well. Okay? And what that is it's the person that you see, you might get a little bit of stickiness, but you're not really going to be able to get a lot of people in and connected there. Okay? The reason why the peanut butter approach doesn't work is that platforms are advanced now and they're different. It used to be, and whenever I was talking about 2007, 2008, it used to be that if you created a blog post, you could then take the first sentence or the first couple sentences and spit it out all over the internet, and it was the exact same content on every single platform, and whichever person was on that platform, you were going to get to see them, right? It was this idea of, if I can just get in front of somebody and get seen, first mover advantage, they're going to come to me, okay? That's based off of a lot of traditional media. Traditional media is called push media, and it's about, if you are watching a TV show and you want to see what happens next, you have to watch the commercials. And then the next time you go into the grocery store, you see that brand of toilet paper and you buy it, right? They are pushing this information at you, you are absorbing it. The problem with that today is that the internet is noisy. Everybody is pushing something at you. And instead of banner ads or something like that that used to work, we just tune them out. We don't even see them anymore. Okay, our brains just already know this is where this is going to be. The ads are going to be here. We're going to skip through it. Like if you're reading a blog post on your phone and there's a picture in the middle that doesn't immediately look like it relates, you just scroll past it. You don't even think about it. It's not even a conscious decision anymore because we've been trained how to use these different platforms, okay? So there's a lot of noise on the internet. So it's now not about pushing my stuff in front of you, which is what everybody does. It's about how do I pull you in? Okay, pull media is about how do I put something that's relevant to you in front of you at a time that you're willing to see it, right? Super simple concept. Really hard to execute, right? The simplest things always are. Okay. And the third one is time. We're all really, really busy. The people who are looking at social media now are looking at something because they're either killing time or they're actually looking for something, right? We don't really kill time very often on our phones. We're always learning something. Now, it could be something completely irrelevant to life, like makeup tutorials, or how you train a cat to walk on a leash, or whatever it is, but we're always sort of absorbing information. And so what we're doing whenever we're looking at this is that people are in some point of what I call the business funnel, right? How many people in here have like business backgrounds of any variety? All right, quite a few of you. So whenever I talk about the sales funnel, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? But in general, what it is that there's this whole big funnel going all the way down for how do you get a sale to happen. Okay, here's my idea. Information, education, leads, and sales. Because what happens whenever somebody takes and goes on the internet to look for something, or that you're gonna get in front of them? They're gonna go, wow, I need new shoes. Information gathering. Those shoes are really cute. Information gathering, right? Then it's education. I think I'll buy those shoes. I wonder where I could buy them. Now we're educating ourselves. Here are the different stores that sell them. I think I'll go on vacation. Where do I want to go? Education level, leads. I think I'll narrow it down to Scottsdale or South Carolina. Oh, South Carolina's having a massive snowstorm. Let's not do that. Let's go to Scottsdale in January, right? That's a lead. And then whenever they actually book, then they become a sale. Make sense to everyone? So that's the background that we're going to work off of here. How many people in here own brick and mortar businesses? All right, let me rephrase. How many people in here do not own brick and mortar businesses? 50-50 split. All right, cool. So let's talk about specific, everybody has businesses in Scottsdale, yes? Yes. Okay. Here are some stats on the Scottsdale visitor. And I focused on the luxury visitor because if we aim for those who have the most money, the trickle-down effect is pretty solid. Okay? I've highlighted in yellow. You guys will get copies of the slides if you send me an email or Danielle an email. Let us know if you want them. You'll get copies of all of this, so don't feel like you need to take notes on everything. We're going to pull some stuff out here and just really talk about what's important or pertinent. But average age is 50 years old of the person who's visiting. Okay? The average luxury household income is $247,000. They stay for 2.75 nights, and 42% of them come more than once a year. What's important about that? Fundamentally, the age demographic is important because that'll help you decide what social media channel you're going to be on. And the way that we're going to figure out, rather than me standing up here and saying, you should be on X, I'm going to present you with various information from the channels, and you're going to tell me where you want to be. Okay? Pick one or two that you're like, that. Done. I'm going to help pull out some stuff that might help you in that decision. Okay? So, 50 years old. Number one. That tells us one thing. That tells us that the main people that we're targeting are somewhere between 45 and 55. Let's just say. Okay? Extrapolating out information. So that tells us if we are going to market directly to them, we need to focus on people who are 45 to 55, right? Now, if we are going to focus on people who are 50, we also might be focusing on those who are 18 to 26. Why? Sorry? Yeah, it's their kids, right? Exactly. It's the parents of the kids. So if you want to say something where it's like, hey, I really think we should buy something for mom, like a Mother's Day something, right? Mother's Day trip, spa events, whatever, you want to focus on those kids because that's who's buying mom something for Mother's Day, right? Valentine's Day, you probably want to focus on men or women who are in the direct age range here, right? So that's getting into when people talk about campaigns. Okay, first of all, campaigns are paid. If you want to pay for stuff, you get really good results. If you don't want to pay for stuff, you don't get as good of results. It's just that simple. Okay? So also, they come back 42%. So what's the number one thing that I'm going to do if I own a brick and mortar shop? Repeat customers. I'm going to hand them something that says, on your next visit, here's this. And if you bring a friend, guess what? The pair of you get 15% off. Because they're probably going to be back, right? Okay, next little bit. Top 10 activities. And then all the resources and everything like that, where I got all this information, those will all be in the slides whenever we're done. Top 3 things: dining, visiting downtown Scottsdale, and shopping. How many of you have a presence in downtown Scottsdale? People come here to hang out with you. Help them do that. Right? Okay. Getting social. Let's talk about social media stuff. All right. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Pinterest. I'm going to make an assumption that you all know or familiar with what those are, okay? As a brief overview, Facebook, and somebody asked this, actually the panel moderator asked this, right? Rachel asked, said, how do you know what each one is sort of about, okay? Facebook is about connecting with people. That's really what you do on Facebook. You connect with people, okay? Twitter is about providing information, usually news, super timely. Twitter is all about what's the latest thing, breaking news, lots of journalists, all information gathering, okay? LinkedIn is about LinkedIn is actually an interesting animal, right? LinkedIn was just bought by Microsoft a couple years ago, and they have now grown it to 500 million users, which we're gonna get into, but it's shifting. It's sort of like the super business-focused version of Facebook now. It used to be, it's where you went to get hired or to hire somebody. Now, it's more along the lines of, this is where I prove that I'm an expert, okay? Instagram. Instagram is all about imaging. Instagram is all about pretty images. We talk about food porn, right? Instagram is your place, solid. Pinterest used to be about DIY, do-it-yourself stuff, but now it's primarily about how-to, or information about. It's kind of the educational platform, okay? We're not going to talk about YouTube, which everybody says, well, what about YouTube? What about YouTube? Here's the thing about YouTube. If you can do video on any of these other platforms, you've got YouTube in the bag. And a lot of people, when they go to YouTube, the #1 phrase searched on YouTube is how to. So unless you have a business where you teach people how to finger paint, or how to make hats, or how to whatever, you're not going to get business from YouTube. So we don't talk about it in something that's about how do small businesses make money using social. Make sense to everyone? Okay. So statistics stink. And the reason for it is because they tell you just enough to not tell you anything. Okay? This is an example. Facebook, right? Percentage of internet users who use each service. US adults. 2012 to 2016. If I look at this, what's the #1 thing I'm going to think? I need to be on Facebook. What's the next thing I'm going to think? I need to be on Instagram. Facebook owns Instagram instantly. Yeah, maybe, right? Could be, highly possible, but we don't have enough information. And the reason why is that one of the kind of vestiges left over from push marketing is brand awareness. Everybody wants brand awareness. You don't actually want brand awareness. You want people to buy your stuff. Okay? And here's the problem with promoting something from a brand awareness standpoint. I know exactly what Viagra does. And every email that I get in my spam box, I know exactly, I am aware of their brand. I am hopefully never going to buy their product. Right? So that brand awareness does nothing. Because the fallacy that people make is that they take and they go, hey, if you're aware of my product, you're going to want to buy it. No, that's not how this works. If I'm interested in your product and I'm aware that you're the brand that I should buy on it, then I want to buy your particular product. Okay? Brand awareness isn't enough. Brand awareness is sort of a side benefit of engagement. Engagement on social media means likes, shares, favorites, comments, that kind of stuff. Because if you send me a bunch of stuff about Viagra, I'm going to delete it. If you send me a bunch of stuff about something I'm interested in, teaching a cat to walk on a leash, I might reply or start following or be like, oh my gosh, that's super fun, or whatever it is, right? You then know that I'm interested in whatever it is you're talking about it. I might have a cat, I might not, but at least you know I like animals. So if you're going to hit me up then, say you're actually a rescue, you're going to hit me up for some money, you know I've liked animals that even if I have or don't have one, I'm probably going to donate to you, in theory, right? If you do a good job with me. You're pre-qualifying all this stuff. Make sense? Okay. So this is a super awesome slide that tells us nothing. But it looks really good. Okay? Let's talk about some stuff. Total number of monthly active users. These are the people who are active per month on Facebook, right? 2 billion. Awesome. monthly active users on mobile, meaning just from mobile device. Incidentally, now something like, I'm going to round it off to 60 because I think it's like 62.3. 60% of people, of all searches, happen on a mobile device. Okay? All right. So it's now more than desktop. So how many people in here have websites? Huh, you guys are bomb. Look at that. Okay. Make sure that whenever you post something like an event that you're having or like a sale or something like that, it looks really good on a mobile because the vast majority of people are going to look at it on their mobile device. And this doesn't matter about age. And we're going to talk about that in a second. It's not like, oh, I work with a senior demographic, so they're not going to look on their phone, they're going to look on their desktop. That is no longer a valid statement. We're going to talk about that. Okay. So all of these look really, really cool, right? A 16% increase year over year. That sounds amazing. Everybody's on Facebook. Yes, everybody is. Do we want to talk to everybody? We don't know. Let's look a little bit more information here, okay? Typical breakdown, basically everything has a ratio of essentially somewhere between 55 to 45, give or take a couple. So male versus female, not really a super useful statistic, okay? I've highlighted in yellow the ones that are fairly useful, okay? 74% of college graduates on Facebook. Why do we think that that's useful for our business goals? Quality. College students generally, if you have a college degree, you make more money, which means you have more disposable income to come visit Scottsdale, right? To then come visit. That makes sense for me for my business. Is it a requirement? No. Does it help? Yeah. Okay? 30 to 49-year-olds, we're not going to include them right now, but 63% of US online users are between ages 50 and 64. What's our average age range that we want to target people for coming to Scottsdale? 50. Right, exactly. So that's really good, 63%. Potentially 63% of the people out there, we're now talking walking the cat on leash versus Viagra, right? This is good, this is good stuff. 56% of US online users age 65 and up use Facebook. That's super interesting to me. Why is that interesting if we're targeting people who are 50? They're on there. If you're 65 and up, maybe you want to go on a vacation with your mother. We have a lot of East Coast people that come out that bring not only the kids, but their parents, right? A lot of people come out here looking for their retirement. What age do we retire? Under current tax laws. Let's get into that. Let's qualify that with the asterisk right now, given what we've got going on. Right? Yeah. So if you're looking at this, maybe you've got a spouse who's a little bit older and somebody's about to retire and they're looking for a place to bring a winter home or whatever. Super valuable information, right? Okay. US Facebook users, this is some other stats I'm going to pull for you guys. Ages 45 to 54 are spending more time on Facebook and represent 21% of the total time spent on the platform, more than any other age group. That's really good stuff to know, that the people in the age group that we're trying to target are the ones that make up the vast majority of Facebook, okay? And not only that, it's US based. Why is that important? It's affordable to travel, and because a lot of you have brick and mortar stuff, and we're talking about coming and visiting Scottsdale, is located in the United States, right? These are actually people who potentially could come and spend money with you. Okay, next bit. 65 plus. I thought this was so cool. Okay, seniors are flocking to social media. The one that I thought was really interesting was 20% are joining Facebook for the games. Right? Oh, I don't care about little Tommy's bat mitzvah anymore. It doesn't make any difference. Like, oh, this is awesome, right? Let's go play Candy Crush. That's so cool to me. I thought it was so interesting, right? Currently, the fastest growing demographic on Facebook, Twitter, and Skype. Okay? Now, it's only 39 million in total, which when we're talking about 2 whatever billion is not that high. At the same point, you know you've got a targeted group of engaged users. And engagement is key, right? So, interesting things to keep in mind. Moving on to Twitter. Twitter's information gathering, okay? It's really, really good if you have like a quick flash sale and you want to make everybody aware of, we're taking 20% off today, right? Super timely, super quick. Here's the problem. 79% of Twitter accounts are based outside the United States. So I'm looking at this going, 330 million, it's less, maybe it's more targeted. Oh, the average number of tweets done per day, 500 million. Wow, that's also, wait, but I've got 100 million people in the US, but 79% of them aren't. So whenever the panelists were sitting up here and they were talking about the fact that they're just like, we had all this stuff from Africa, UK, various places like that. If you're on Twitter, you will have 1,001 people following you from the UK. It's just one of those things. English speaking, it's the way their algorithm works. I don't know how their algorithm works, but that's the way it is, right? So if 79% of the Twitter accounts are based outside of the United States, I'm probably gonna go, no, I'm not gonna take 8 different times out of my day to post current best statistics, right? You're supposed to post 8 times a day. Now, Twitter is really, really good for people like me, who do speaking, who do training, who do things like that, because all I have to do is find a cool blog post and send it out and send out information, because people are coming to me looking for information, education, leads, and sales. You guys are focusing on people who are looking for leads and sales. So maybe this isn't the best platform for you, okay? Once again, going through some more sort of statistics. Now, 54% of Twitter users earn more than $50,000 a year at least. Now, 79% of them are outside of the US. I've got a little bit of conflicting information here. Because if you're making 50,000 or more, maybe you are traveling to the US for vacations, for things like that. So it might be one of those, I want to learn a little bit more about this. Or it might be one of those that's like, nope, still thinking Facebook is the better option given whatever it is I want to do. Okay, all information. Oh, this was really interesting down here. Top 3 countries. And this is part of why digging into that 50,000 a year is that top 3 countries are Brazil, Japan, and Mexico. The Phoenix Central reason, according to like the economic data in Arizona, is that 53% of our visitors are from Canada, 8% from Mexico, and 7% from China. So if they've got Brazil, Japan, and Mexico, and I've got Canada, Mexico, and China, is their 8% or their 23 million going to overlap with my 8%, or do we not worry about it?
Jenny,
Yes.
I don't know if it's a coincidence, but that's exactly the proportion of foreign students over at ASU.
That is very interesting.
That's the top one, Brazil, and I know Japan is 3rd.
Cool. Any idea who's second?
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's China, but
Yeah, which totally makes sense. So what's really interesting then is that we are getting a representative slice of essentially world economic data, right? Aggregated world economic data. Super interesting. I did not know that. Thank you for that. All right, LinkedIn. Said LinkedIn is a little bit of a different animal at this point in time, okay? 500 million, just hit that. 133 million from the US. Percentage of users that log in daily, 40%. Now, why is that important? 40%, that they log in daily at 40%. What? Engagement, right? We know if we post something on LinkedIn, we potentially, and this is obviously big, round numbers, have a 40% chance of them seeing whatever it is we posted. All right, that's not bad. We got 100 followers and 40 of them see our stuff. That's okay, solid. 70% of LinkedIn users are from outside the US. Darn, maybe. Here's the thing that makes me go, oh, maybe not. 45% of US adult internet users, period, not LinkedIn users, US adult internet users with an income higher than $75,000 annually are on LinkedIn, making it more popular than these other channels, Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter. Okay, that might change the game around a little bit. We're looking at this. Now, what I am talking to you guys about today is organic traffic. You post something, somebody likes it, happens organically, you didn't pay for it, okay? This statistic becomes super relevant if you're paying for content. Here's why. You can target only the US-based people. So if you're willing to spend the money on advertising, and we can talk about maybe doing another thing on paid advertising, because we obviously don't have enough time to talk about it today, paid advertising or review sites. But when we talk about this and we look at this and we go, oh, if I'm willing to spend $300, I can get in front of potentially people who will make that back tenfold. Because you can target and only show your content to the people that you know are interested in and fit whatever the criteria is. You can't do that with organic search. Okay? Next, Instagram, 800 million, 500 million active, 68% of Instagram users are female. That could be relevant because who usually books vacations? The females, right? Mom, spouse, whatever, is usually the one who actually puts together and starts looking and doing all that sort of stuff and says, hey honey, what do you think about this, etc., right? So 80% of Instagram users come from outside the US. Is that bad? Is that good? What do we think? It could be traveling here. We don't know, right? It's going to depend. We're going to have to do some testing. Post some stuff on Instagram and see what you get. Because if you're posting stuff that has a cactus in it about visiting Arizona, coming and checking out the candy shop, coming and checking out the restaurant, coming and checking out whatever it is, then you're probably going to get people who are liking and following that because they have some kind of interest in actually coming and experiencing those things. Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to see 1800s like photos of a chocolate cake that I'm never going to be able to eat, or a super awesome margarita that I'm never going to be able to drink. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Once again, Instagram. Okay. 77.6 million Instagram users are from the US. Instagram is used by 31% of American women and 24% of American men. 31% of American women are going to be on my Instagram. That's a kind of a low percentage, right? 31 out of 100. If I have people who are already liking, following, engaged with my stuff. Now, once again, if you're doing paid, it's a very different deal, because then you get to access all of them. But remember, first you got to get people to know who you are and be engaged with your content. And then you can get 31 out of 100. First you got to get that 100. Make sense? Okay. Pinterest. Total number of Pinterest users who save shopping pins and boards. Okay, wait. What's a shopping or viable pin? Pinterest is one of these things that is an awesome site that sort of gets like forgotten about by most businesses because they think it's all DIY and mommy bloggers. Okay? It's not. The cool thing about Pinterest is that they have something called a buyable pin. What a buyable pin is that within the app, somebody can pull something up and they can look at it and go, yeah, I want that. And they can buy it right within the app because it's all set up and set and ready to go. You don't even have to have a website. And you don't have to pay in order to create viable pins. So you don't have to have like face campaigns and spend money. You just have to optimize for this. Okay? So all you've got to do is set it up where if you have a tea shop and you're showing a specific type of tea or a coffee shop or whatever it is, you can take and you can have it where they can click on that image of that bag of coffee and actually purchase the coffee in Pinterest. That's really freaking cool. Am I the only one that's like, that's so cool, right? Because you sit there and you look at that and you go, I don't even need necessarily a website. Here's the other thing about Pinterest. Pinterest is not focused on or reliant on time-sensitive information. So if you have a product that's a salon, that's hair, that's something like that you have a particular shampoo that you sell or a particular whatever that you sell, it doesn't make any difference whether that's from 2012 or from now. People can still buy it. So you don't have to keep churning out content every single day or multiple times a day. You can do it once or twice a week, optimize it for buyability if you have a product they can sell. But even if you have something that is fairly large, like say you have an art gallery, and you did a focus on lighting, and your information was, look at the way that the artist used lighting on this page, different types of shadow, right? Direct versus indirect or cast shadows. Perfect. Put that up, have the information, and have it where people could buy prints or postcards or whatever the artist happens to offer, right? All super relevant, easy information. Same thing with if you've got a certain type of food, right? A specialty that you're running. Restaurant week, everybody? Right? Restaurants in here? Restaurants, restaurant week? Yes? Okay. Dealing with some of that sort of stuff of being able to have something, whether it's on Instagram or Pinterest or an image-heavy something, that you can show some of that and invite people to come out and claim offers and get involved without actually having to spend money to promote. Okay? All right. Here's the thing about Pinterest. Pinterest is really interesting too. Half of Pinterest users make $50,000 or more per year. 10% of Pinteresting households making greater than $125K. 30% of all social media users, US social media users, are on Pinterest. 60% of Pinterest users are from the US. Men are the fastest growing demographic. That's all really interesting information, if we're talking about brick and mortar, if we're talking about different things along those lines, right? Because this is information that we go, that's probably pretty relevant to me if what I'm doing is inviting people to come visit my shop or get involved in a specific geographic area, visiting tourism, talking about bikes, right? All that different stuff is all stuff that you can share on Pinterest as to why it's valuable, right? The slides that Danielle did earlier where she had all those different things about that app, every single one of those slides was easily a super interesting pin that somebody could put up there to learn more about stuff, okay? So which one will you choose? Decisions. Now you're gonna get all of that information again, but it's thinking about, okay, based on what I want to accomplish with my business goal, leads and sales, which one of those really sounds the most appealing? How many people think Facebook? How many people think Twitter? How many people think Instagram? How many people think LinkedIn? Okay, how many people think Pinterest? Couple. Okay, interesting. Very cool. The answer is, it's whatever you think, right? You know your business better than anything else. That's the other thing. If you hire a consultant for any variety, or anything, doesn't make a difference what it is, understand that they own the context, okay? The context is, what are we going to do? How's the best way to approach it, okay? You own the content. You know what does and doesn't appeal to your users. You know what does and doesn't make sense. So when you're having a conversation with a consultant, don't be afraid to speak up and tell them, this is what worked in the past. This is who we engaged with in the past. This is our general customer. You might be able to find somebody else, but we know this works. Okay? Content and context.